You're navigating through life with an invisible anchor tied to your ankle, dragging you down while you struggle to breathe. This anchor has a name, a face, a voice, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. She drains your energy like an emotional vampire who's never satisfied. You wake up tired, live exhausted, and sleep worried. And the worst part? You think this is normal. It's not. Pay close attention to what I'm about to tell you now. Every second you spend trapped in this toxic cycle is a second stolen from the man you're meant to be. You're letting a woman control not just your present, but also your future. And that needs to stop today. Can you remember the last time you made a decision without thinking about her reaction? I guarantee you something. If you can't answer that question in under 3 seconds, you're already deeper than you realize. But calm down. There's still time to turn this game around. Do you know what the biggest problem with modern men is? They confuse love with imprisonment. They confuse care with control. They confuse partnership with parasitism. And society has programmed you to accept this. They told you relationships are hard. They told you that you need to endure it. They told you that a real man puts up with anything for love. Lies. Blatant lies that are destroying generations of strong men. Look at where you are now, sitting there, probably with your phone in hand, wondering whether or not you should text her, feeling that tightness in your chest, that anxiety rising in your throat. Have you ever stopped to think that this isn't love? It's fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of confrontation. Fear of admitting you've lost control of your own life. But most importantly, fear of facing the truth. You've become an emotional hostage to someone who should be your partner, not your tormentor. Does that make sense? Now I'm going to reveal something few men realize. There's a psychology behind toxic female behavior that almost no one understands. Not because it's complex, but because no one has the courage to talk about it. Toxic women operate with an internal radar. They identify men with certain vulnerabilities and exploit those openings like a hacker invades a system. And you, my friend, have left all the doors open. Studies show that men in toxic relationships lose an average of 70% of their productive capacity. 70%. That means you're operating at less than 1/3 of your real potential. Wake up, man. I'm going to give you the 5 unequivocal signs that you are being controlled by a toxic woman. And after that, I'll show you exactly how to get out of this prison. No drama, no victimhood. With strategy and surgical precision. First sign, progressive isolation. She started subtly. First, it was comments about your friends. Then, arguments when you went out. Now you can't even remember the last time you saw your buddies. She created a world where only the two of you exist. But it's not romance, it's control. She convinced you that your friends are a bad influence, that your family doesn't understand you, that only she truly cares about you. And you believed it, because it was easier to give in than to fight, because you confused jealousy with care. But think about it. A healthy relationship expands you. It doesn't diminish you. A real partner wants you strong, surrounded by people who support you, not isolated and dependent. Can you feel the difference? Second sign, constant emotional manipulation. Every conversation turns into an emotional roller coaster. You never know which version of her you'll encounter. The sweet one who loves you, or the explosive one who blames you for everything. You live walking on eggshells, weighing your words, calculating reactions. She uses your vulnerabilities as weapons. That secret you told her? Now it's ammunition. That insecurity you revealed? It's become the button she presses when she wants to control you. And the worst part? She flips the narrative. When you complain, you're insensitive. When you defend yourself, you're the aggressor. When you question her, you're the problem. It's a psychological dance where you always lose. Does this sound familiar to you? Third sign, systematic sabotage of your goals. Whenever you're about to grow, she creates a crisis. Whenever you focus on work, she demands attention. Whenever you invest in yourself, she accuses you of selfishness. Do you see the pattern? It's not a coincidence. It's a strategy. She knows that an accomplished man has options. A successful man has choices. A man with self-esteem doesn't accept crumbs, so she keeps you small, keeps you insecure, keeps you dependent. How many opportunities have you lost because of her? How many projects have you abandoned? How many dreams have you shelved? Think about that now. Does that make sense to you? Fourth sign, constant invalidation of your emotions. When you express frustration, she minimizes it. When you show sadness, she ridicules it. When you show anger, she calls you out of control. Your emotions are never valid, never justified, never important. But hers? Hers are always the top priority. She can explode over anything. She can cry for any reason. She can dramatize any situation. And you have to deal with it. You have to comfort her. You have to fix it. Always. This isn't partnership. It's emotional slavery. Have you ever stopped to think about the last time your emotional needs were genuinely met? When was the last time you felt truly heard and understood? Can you remember? Fifth sign, blackmail and veiled threats. If you don't do what she wants, she threatens to break up. If you don't give in, she insinuates that others are interested. If you don't obey, she suggests you don't deserve her. It's a cruel psychological game where your self-esteem is the bargaining chip. She planted in your head that you can't do any better, that no one else will want you, that you should be grateful to have her. And you believed it, because the constant repetition of these lies transformed them into truths in your mind. But let me tell you an ultra-rare secret. Men who free themselves from toxic relationships experience a phenomenon few know about. It's as if a mental fog dissipates. Suddenly, you realize how blind you were, how trapped you were, how small you had become. Does this scare you or motivate you? Now I'm going to teach you the exact process to regain control. It's not easy, it's not fast, but it is liberating. First step. Recognition without denial. Stop making excuses for her behavior. Stop justifying the unjustifiable. Stop romanticizing abuse. Call things by their real name. Manipulation is manipulation. Control is control. Toxicity is toxicity. Write down every episode of emotional abuse you remember on a piece of paper. No filters, no softening, no protecting her. Just the raw, naked truth. When you see it all written down, you'll understand the dimension of the problem. You'll realize that these aren't isolated incidents. It's a systematic pattern of destruction. Ready to face that? Second step, establishing unbreakable boundaries. Boundaries aren't suggestions, they're walls. And you need to build yours now. Decide what you won't tolerate anymore. Yelling? No more. Humiliations? Never again. Blackmail? It's over. And when she crosses those boundaries, you act. Without hesitation. Without negotiation. Without backing down. She will test you. She will push. She will try to break your resolve. It's at this moment that you discover if you're a man or a boy. It's at this moment that you choose between freedom and imprisonment. Hurry up. Time is running out. Third step, progressive emotional detachment. You can't just leave all at once. The emotional addiction is real, but you can detox gradually. Start investing in yourself, the gym, books, courses, hobbies, anything that reminds you who you were before her, anything that shows you who you can be without her. Reconnect with old friends, even if it's hard, even if it feels embarrassing, they'll understand. Real men always support each other. Create a routine that doesn't depend on her. Wake up earlier, meditate, go for a run. Work on personal projects. Occupy your mind with growth, not drama. Can you visualize this version of yourself? Fourth step, strategic preparation for your exit. If you live together, organize your finances. If you have shared accounts, separate them. If you have common assets, document them. It's not coldness, it's intelligence. Toxic women can become vindictive when they lose control. Protect yourself legally. Protect yourself financially. Protect yourself emotionally. Have a plan B, a place to stay, money saved up, guaranteed emotional support. When you decide to leave, leave prepared, leave strong, leave for good. Does that make sense to you? Fifth step, execution without looking back. When the time comes, execute. No drama, no lengthy explanations, no leaving room for manipulation. Be direct, be firm, be definitive. It's not a negotiation, it's a decision. It's not a break, it's an end. She will cry, she will promise changes, she will swear eternal love. She will appeal to all your weaknesses. It's the final test, the hardest, the most important. If you give in now, everything goes back to square one. And worse, because now she knows you tried to leave and failed. The control will tighten, the manipulation will intensify, the abuse will escalate. Pay attention, this is crucial. Now let me anticipate your biggest objection. You're thinking that maybe the problem is you, that maybe you're overreacting, that maybe couples therapy will solve everything. Stop now. Therapy doesn't fix toxicity. Therapy doesn't cure narcissism. Therapy doesn't transform control into love. You are not a renovation project. You are not a savior. You are not responsible for fixing anyone. Your only responsibility is to your own life, your own sanity, your own happiness. And let me tell you another secret almost no one realizes. Healthy women exist. Supportive women exist. Women who uplift exist. But they aren't interested in broken men. They look for whole men. As long as you're trapped in this toxic dynamic, you're invisible to them. You're vibrating at a frequency that only attracts more toxicity. It's a vicious cycle that only you can break. Can you understand the urgency of this? Every day that passes, you become more entangled. Every concession you make, you become weaker. Every excuse you invent, you move further from freedom. The cost of staying is greater than the cost of leaving. It always is. The fear you feel of being alone, it will pass. The pain of separation, temporary. The feeling of emptiness, normal and necessary. Do you know what doesn't pass? The regret of having wasted years of your life, the bitterness of having missed opportunities, the shame of having allowed yourself to be controlled. Remember that. Now, I'm going to give you a simple framework you can apply today. It's called the 70-30 rule. 70% of your time and energy go to you, your goals, your projects, your growth, your well-being. It's not selfishness, it's self-preservation. 30% goes to the relationship, and only if it's reciprocal, only if it's healthy, only if it's constructive. If she demands more than that, it's toxic. If she can't handle that, it's her problem. If she threatens you because of it, she's proving your point. It's that simple. Do you understand the power of this rule? Now think with me. How many men do you know who live like this? Few. Very few. Because most are exactly where you are, trapped, controlled, diminished. But you can be different. You can choose freedom. You can reclaim your autonomy. Today, now, this very moment, the decision is yours. It always has been. Do you know the irony of all this? When you free yourself, when you become whole again, when you reclaim your power, something magical happens. You become magnetic to the right kind of woman. Women who admire strength, not exploit weakness. Women who celebrate your success, not sabotage it. Women who add to your life, not subtract from it. But first, you need to cut the anchor. First, you need to navigate to clear waters. First, you need to become the captain of your own ship. Does that make sense now? Every word I've said here is based on patterns that repeat thousands of times. It's not theory. It's observed, documented, proven reality. Men who apply these strategies free themselves. Men who ignore them remain trapped. It's that simple, that direct, that true. The question is, which side will you be on? Pay attention to what I'm about to say now. This isn't just another empty motivational video. This is a call to action, an invitation to freedom, a map to your liberation. But the map doesn't walk itself. You need to take the first step. Remember the invisible anchor metaphor. Now you know it exists. Now you know where it's tied. Now you know how to cut it. The question remains, will you continue to drown, or will you finally sail towards your destiny of peace and success? If this content resonated deeply with you, if you recognized your situation in these words, do something now. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. But most importantly, act in your real life. Do it now, before your courage fades, before fear returns, before she realizes you're waking up. Your freedom is one decision away. Your autonomy is one action away from happening. Your life is waiting for you to reclaim control. The anchor only has the weight you allow it to have. Cut it, today, and sail towards the life you deserve to live.